Hey everybody, it's Holly and Carey, the Urban Homesteader. It has been about 5 months.
I know.
Since we've hung out. Like since the last one we harvested honey.
Yeah.
And here we are. Yesterday we had a snowstorm, or it was probably 2 days ago, but it lasted for 2 days.
Yeah.
It was stupid. And we are getting our bees in like 10 days is when they're scheduled to be here.
Oh.
I don't love this idea.
No.
But I can't do anything about it. So I belong to a bee club. And they place orders for all the bees in the club, all the people in the club for the bees. And we get a pretty good deal on the bees, price-wise. But I don't understand why they can't.
It's so early.
Bump it back. Like, this is
till May.
hard.
Yeah.
So as you guys remember, like when we get the bees, we have to feed them because there is nothing growing out. There is still snow on the ground. So we'll have to figure that out. However, that's not what we're dealing with today. Today, we decided to go through all of our equipment and do a little bit of spring cleaning. It was way overdue. I had purchased used equipment and really didn't do anything other than set it up. And as you guys know, like I lost 2 hives last year and I'm not really sure why. They could have just swarmed and left. They could have had mites. They could have died. I don't know. But we're going to go through our equipment today. And let me tell you, we have already cleaned out the stall. So we're in Carey's barn. I should probably mention that. So she's so kind. And all of our equipment is in 1 horse stall. So we've already taken all of our equipment out and we're just kind of going through it and we're scraping frames. We're dirty already. We kind of just started.
We had to clean out a stall. After we cleaned it all out, we had to clean it out.
We had cleaned the stall.
Yeah.
So, it was hay and
And I think it's a 8 by 12, 10 by 12 stall. So, and it was full.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff. And we didn't get rid of much.
No.
You got rid of a hand crank spinner.
Well, I hope so.
Well, it's still here. But we're not going to be planning. We're not planning on putting it back here and reusing it. We've already got our spinners. So some of the things that we are going to be doing today, actually, you have a frame right in front of you.
Oh, yeah, I do.
So some of these, they're so old, and you can tell by the color of the wax that they have built up. So what we're doing today, this one actually isn't too bad, but it's really built out. And so that's a problem when we put the frames in the boxes. So we're going to probably scrape this one down a little bit. I don't know. Maybe we can take a knife and just...
I think so.
Do it that way.
Yeah.
But there's other frames. You want to grab one that's behind you? That are gross. Just really, really gross.
What is this one?
There's cobwebs. There's mold on some. So we're going to scrape these down and just kind of give these bees a real good chance. And give them a little bit of a better way to succeed. I don't know.
And some of these boxes I've had in here for years.
And you've never really done anything. No. And there's some maintenance too that we have to do. There's some frames that are like broken, kind of falling apart.
But we got the parts.
Oh my gosh, we have all the things. We just need to put it together. So these are some of the frame sides. And here's some of the bases and foundations. Yeah, so we have to like put these together and build them and nail these together. Carey's got a little bag of nails. She's so prepared. I didn't even know she had these until we were cleaning out the stall. So we have our job cut out for us. We've decided, though, that when we're going to be building the frames, first we're going to clean up what we have. We're going to build a couple of apiaries and see what we need. Last year, I ran out of supers. And that was I only had like 1 successful hive. So it's a little concerning because I'm still doing 3. You're doing 3. We're going to need more of these. I'm just a little nervous, and I wanted to make sure that we have enough to cover ourselves. But we decided that when we build these, we're going to do that around the fire pit one night when it's warmer and it's not snowing.
Yeah.
But today we're just kind of cleaning all of our stuff. So I'll kind of give you guys a snapshot of what we're doing. It's a whole lot of scraping, and that is about it. I mean, it's nothing glamorous for sure, but we're also finding things like feeders, and we have like so many different types of feeders. So we need to figure out how exactly we want to set up our hives this year and go from there. But
I got a ton of queen excluders. You used those last year, didn't you?
I do. Yep. And those are those are metal. Those are metal. I shouldn't say they're good. I like them. Yeah. Better than the plastic. But they're gross. They're full of wax and they just
we could pressure wash those. I bet that would be really good, pressure washing those.
That's more of
it's a sunnier day, but it would work.
Yeah. There's so many things that we could be doing. We talked about this last year. Like, we need to set a day and clean up our stuff. And that sounds like a great idea. And here we are 10 days out. I'm like, oh my God, we need to get it together.
And we waited until November to pull our hives, wasn't it? October, November?
And it was too cold. Winter, right? I mean, we're not,
because that's when we should really clean all of this stuff, is before we put it away. So we're not doing this, but
lesson learned.
Maybe not.
We'll see. I mean, I'm not going to hold my breath.
No.
Okay. Well, we'll keep you guys posted about how we're doing this. I'm going to throw in some extra footage and show you guys what we're doing. And it's kind of like Carey was scraping frames, and it's just kind of cool. Like it's so brittle because it's been frozen. And some of the wax is good, some of it is not. So we're just kind of picking and choosing what we're doing here, but it's very satisfying to see all of it come off and start over. All right. Well, day 2 is here, and I first wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about what we found in the frames as we were cleaning them and going through them all. We found some good and we found some bad, and we found some, quite honestly, kind of indifferent. But first of all, I wanted to let you guys know that we were not expecting this project to last nearly as long as it did. We kind of thought that we were going to get done in one day, like for 4 hours, and we'd be wrapping it up and it wouldn't be a big deal. Not the case. We worked really hard, and we were very sore, and like my shoulders were killing me. But I guess that's kind of the price you got to pay. This was something that we weren't really excited about doing, but I really wanted to get it done, because I had seen some of the frames that were old and just needed to get cleaned up. And we just wanted the equipment to work for us instead of having to fight it. So anyway, we got it all worked on, and we cleaned up and scraped so many frames. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. Some of the things that we found, to my excitement, we found a few frames. I mean, probably enough to start all of our hives for this year. We found some frames that had capped honey in it, which is great because the bees right now don't have any food source, and so that is something that they could use to their advantage. I'd asked Carey, why did we not spin those out? And she and I both kind of came to the conclusion that while we were spinning, these frames weren't completely full, although they were capped, but not full enough for us to kind of put the effort in. We had spun so much honey last year, we were kind of like, God, who cares? Just leave it in there. And now we're using that to our advantage. And for the bees, especially in the beginning of the season when it's so cold and there's no food available, this worked out perfectly. So I was very, very happy to find those frames. And then kind of fun, we found some frames also that had new comb on it. And you could tell that it was new comb because of the color. It was real white or real light yellow. And so I knew that that was a comb that was built just this past year. So along with that, of course, we found a lot of frames that had super dark old comb, and the color of it doesn't so much matter, but when the comb starts to take on a different shape, that's when you know it's really past its prime, and that just makes it harder for the bees to work, and that's more for them to clean up. So that was the stuff that we scraped the most of. Gosh, and there just was way more than I thought that there was going to be. But that's why we were doing this project, so it was all good. Some other things that we found, we found a little bit of mold, which is very normal, and quite honestly, that's not anything to be real concerned about. The bees will go in there and clean that up. That's kind of their job. They're, little worker bees, and they'll take care of all that business. We found a lot of built up propolis or propolis, and that is kind of like it's a byproduct of the bees, and it's almost like a super glue. So they build that up on the sides of the boxes to seal up the apiary, honestly. And so it just makes it real hard for us to get the boxes apart. And so we went through and scraped off a lot of that, and we tried to get all the boxes, like all nooks and crannies. And then also on the frames, there's like little niches that are on there that help the frame sit in the box good and even. And if you don't have that propolis scraped off, the frames are gonna sit in there uneven and make the hive a little wonky. So we took care of that. Honestly, that stuff is so strong. That was probably why our shoulders and backs were hurting so bad, because that stuff was built up like crazy, and those bees do a really good job of sealing up their house, that's for sure. But another thing that we found, actually I was super excited about this. We found some
We found some frames that Carrie doesn't necessarily like to use. So she likes to use deeps. Those are the bigger frames. And I do the deeps for the lower boxes. And then I like to switch over to supers, which are the smaller frames. And that's where the bees put their honey. Carrie just likes to use deeps throughout the whole thing, and that's fine. Every beekeeper has their own way of doing it. I was very excited. So when we were going through all of these frames and boxes, we found some supers in the deep boxes, and that was like a gold mine for me. I was expecting myself to have to go buy more frames or build more. And because we found some hiding in there, that meant that I didn't have to do that. So I think I'm going to be set up and good to go. We'll have to see how the season goes, how much honey they're building up. And if any worst case, we'll just have to build more frames, and that's not a bad thing at all. So the one and only thing that we were not really excited about was that we had a critter in the barn overnight. We don't really know still what it is. I believe there were some droppings, but I'm not an expert in what the droppings look like of wild animals, so we're not sure what it was, and actually came in after day 2 as well, but in a different part of the barn. So something's tried to get in there. It left us a mess. We were, all that propolis and comb that we were scraping, we had bagged it up, and we were leaving it in the corner of the barn, and that critter came in and got after that and made a mess. It wasn't terrible, but messy enough, and makes you a little concerned about what more damage it could do. But so far, so good. That was the only thing that it got into, and, we're just going to go from there.
We're done.
Thank God we're done. So we are about 9.5 hours in of this of this mess. We are feeling so much better.
Oh, it's done.
We have cleaned all of our equipment. We have tossed some of our equipment.
Oh, yeah, the gator was full.
Gator was full of just crap that we just don't need. And it was just chaotic and messy and making it confusing for us when we were coming into the stall during last year's bee season. So that was the whole reason for this cleanup. It took way longer than I thought it was going to. So I had Carrie count up how many frames we cleaned.
Oh, it went to sleep.
300 frames, something ridiculous like that. 230 deeps. Frames. And 90 supers.
Frames.
That was us scraping. I'm so glad it's over.
I know.
But we're ready. Like now,
yep.
The bees can arrive.
Yep.
We've got everything set up over here. These are grab and goes pretty much. These are the extra frames that we'll need along the way, hopefully, right?
Yep.
And God, we're just kind of ready, which is great because they're going to be here in now 9 days.
Oh,
hoping no more snow at this point. So,
but no, we did good.
Behind us is just a bunch of extra. We've got more foundations and framing stuff, empty totes for the frames when we're spinning, all of that jazz. So, yesterday when I arrived, this little garden gnome was laying on one of the frames. I was just in here. I said to Carrie, "Where did that come from?" And she says, "Oh, I didn't want you to see it." She was just going to put it out by the beehives when we got the bees. And it's adorable and super cute. So we have a little bee gnome, but we don't have a name for her.
No.
So I'm asking all of our viewers to throw in your suggestions into the comment box of what we're going to name our bee-friendly gnome. Be creative. Don't be weird. Be creative. That's it. Gosh, that's it for today. I'm going to go home and shower. My hands are sticky. I was wearing gloves, and they were so
disgusting,
gross. I actually flipped mine. I had just those cheapy, stretchy gloves.
Oh, you took a picture of it, though.
I did, yeah. I'll probably throw that in the footage here. But, oh, God. Anyway, yuck. We are just feeling accomplished.
Very accomplished.
And disgusted. Disgusting, I should say.
It's like I told Holly. I said, I'm really glad she suggested this because if it would have been just me, I would have, we're just fine.
Yeah.
But I'm glad she lit a fire underneath my rear end and we got it done because now, this fall...
Right.
We clean them all off when we put them away, and we don't have to do this again.
Ever in our life, I hope. It wasn't terrible, but, it's not fun. And we put pallets down, too, now. So everything is, raised up, and it shouldn't.
Yep.
Oh, just so much better.
Yep.
It may not look fantastic to you guys, but for us, this is a
Compared
big...
to what it looked like before.
Oh my gosh, such a big improvement. So
Yeah.
that's it for today, you guys. One of the next videos coming up is probably going to be when the bees arrive, so that'll be fun. And hopefully seamless. And it'll be a beautiful, warm 80-degree day in 9 days. Would that be cool? Anyway, probably not going to happen. But make sure you guys tune in. Thanks so much for watching. We will see you next time.